sold out now, isn't it?
103 for you?
Sorry?
103 for you? Okay.
I don't know. See.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our pre-match press conference to preview our game against Manchester United. And we'll start off with Vinny from Sky.
David, you kind of touched on it there, I think. Enjoyable international break with Scotland qualifying for the World Cup, and obviously Seamus and Jay getting through to the playoffs with the Republic.
I've got to say, it was a great sort of week for so many of the national teams, sort of hopefully in the home nations as well. You know, Republic, Northern Ireland, and Scotland especially doing so well. Wales had brilliant results as well. So with a bit of luck, they'll all qualify.
Kind of still on a Scotland theme. I see you've been linked with Scott McTominay, and no, you're not going to talk about individual players, but the figures being quoted are upwards of £60 million. What difference is there, if any, between that figure being quoted and the reality of what you can afford on an individual player?
Well, I think the reality would be that I'd never talk about other players, but if you're using the word 60s and those sort of numbers, I don't know if we're quite at that level yet. Hopefully we're working towards it. We're trying to build ourselves back up. We've said many times about us trying to sort of get on sort of solid ground again. We've done that with the new owners, new stadium, staying up last year, so we have to try and make sure that we go steady. I don't think we'll be shooting for the stars right away, but that's not to say it might happen. But my gut feeling would be to say no, that wouldn't be where the market we'd be in.
What stage are you at in terms of identifying targets for January?
Well, first of all, you do most of your buying in the summer. All the clubs do it. It's not to say that we wouldn't try and add to the squad in January. That's far from it. We didn't bring any players in last January. We may do so this window, but I think everybody mainly knows that January is never a great window. But hey, there's been some really good players bought in January and helped clubs at different times, so obviously we'll try and do the same.
We've gone back to it before. I think we've spoken about it. Mikel Arteta,
yes, of course. Yeah.
I mean, do you see that kind of value anywhere?
No, well, I don't know if we'll get many more Mickey Artetas. I nearly said Mickey Antonios there. But no, Arteta was brilliant for us at the time and went on to become a great player.
Obviously, AFCON does affect your squad. Have you got a definitive date yet as to when you're going to lose Gana, Gueye and Iliman and Ndiaye?
No, we don't. No, so I would be surprised if any of the Premier League teams have been given a date exactly at the moment. But look, it's part of the football. When you sign the players from Africa, you have to. It's part of their journey that they will go to the AFCON, and they're entitled to have their competition.
So, how ready then do you feel the likes of Merlin, even Tin Irabunam, Tyler Dibling, Dwight McNeil to come back in as well to fill those kind of gaps that those two will?
Well, that's partly the reason they're all here to help and be part of the team. We're looking forward to getting Tyler more minutes as we go along now and get him featuring in the games. Unfortunately, Merlin had an operation on Monday, last Monday, on his hernia, which is going to keep him out for a few weeks. So, but hopefully by the time we get round to December, he'll be pretty ready and hopefully fit to go again.
Have you got an expected date for Merlin also?
No, we don't.
As well.
No, for neither of them we've got dates, but Merlin get done. Not the Monday just gone, the Monday before after we'd played Fulham, so we knew he had a bit of a problem and we got it sorted.
So over the last couple of weeks or so, have you noticed the difference in Thierno Barry with that reception he got from the fans?
I have. I think there's very few people who don't sort of gain confidence from getting support and backing. Thierno got great support from the crowd. They done amazing for him, and to be fair, he's working hard. He's someone who's trying to settle into the Premier League. He's got a very young family, and all those things play a part in settling in at any football club.
How encouraged are you by what he showed against Fulham as well? I may be reading too much into it, but with him getting 2 consecutive starts like that, it feels like maybe you've made a decision to give him a run of starts. Is that the case?
Well, maybe, but I think like anything else, we need them to score goals. We're not here for a sort of just to absolutely give them everything they want. They have to produce as well, and if they don't produce, then we can't give them it back. But hopefully we can give them the opportunities to show what he can do.
I appreciate you've been back to Old Trafford before, but is there any difference going back as the Everton manager?
It's a great football club. I've been back many times with West Ham, and different teams all through. Never been easy the whole time to go back to Old Trafford and get results. Always been a tough place to go. My early years here when we were up against Sir Alex's team was always really difficult, the teams they had. So I'm looking forward to getting back. I'm always treated well. I think Manchester United have got an incredible support inside the stadium. I think they really get behind their manager and their players, and I'm looking forward to it.
And they're unbeaten in 5, 3 wins in that time. What difference are you seeing in them from the first 6 games where they obviously lost 3, drew 1 and won 2?
Well, probably the wrong man to ask those questions to, because I'm not studying Manchester United all the time. I'm watching Everton and making sure that we try and improve on our results and get better results and keep winning. But obviously the news would tell you that Manchester United are certainly improving and on a pretty good run. And
finally, from me, does that performance against Fulham kind of set the tone for what you want moving forward?
Well, I think we set the tone with performances against the likes of Brighton and teams at home, Crystal Palace. We got a good result, so I think we have to keep it up. I think what I'm looking for now is our away form, which was very good last year at times, just to turn the corner again and hopefully start getting those wins, which we picked up quite a few, certainly at the end of last season.
Thanks, David.
Cheers.
Thanks, Vinny. We'll go on to Fraser at Premier League.
Just a quick one from me, carrying on from the internationals. Seamus Coleman got himself out a bit of game time over the last couple of weeks. How important is it to see a player like that getting some time so that he's still going to be there and you can call on him whenever he's needed?
Yeah. For me, it was really, really good to see Seamus get the minutes and get the time, because it's not been easy to get Seamus back into it. And obviously he's come back. He had quite a few injuries last year, especially when I arrived at the club, and even going through most of the season. He only sort of returned to the team right at the end and then picked up another injury at the end of the season. So it's great that he's getting the minutes. I've got to say he's been training terrific. His attitude as always is impeccable. So good. No, he's certainly in my thoughts, that's for sure.
Thanks, Fraser. We'll go to Julia at Radio Merseyside.
Hi, David. How different of a manager, or are you different from the manager that left here to become Manchester United manager?
I hope I'm a bit wiser, possibly, and I think age sometimes does that. But I think when I was leaving at the time, at that time at Everton was I'd done 11 years here, and maybe it seems a long time in management, but. We look back in hindsight, maybe could have done things differently. It would have been different. We had developed a great team over that period because we'd been given time to build it. I think the one thing about any manager, I think, given an opportunity to sort of build things. I used to always look at the sort of the real managers, probably from eras before me, who I looked up to. Even Sir Bobby Robson, Brian Clough, Don Revie. All those ones had been given long periods at their clubs, and if you look at the success, it tended to work better that way. Well, suddenly we've gone through eras now where managers lose their jobs quite regularly. But I was really fortunate here at Everton. We were able to build and have such a good side over 11 years, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So how have I changed? Probably mellowed a little bit with age, but still out there fighting, trying to win every game and preparing as well as I've ever done.
On that time then that managers quite often need to have to make changes, there's some stats have been collated that say Everton have used fewer players this season, which has been 19, than any other Premier League side, and an oldest average side. Does that still show that you're, despite the fact the aspirations are being raised quite rightly, but are you still quite early in this rebuild at Everton?
Well, absolutely. If anybody thought that we were going to completely switch everything round, then they were off their head. When I came back in, I was thinking, could I just keep them up? Was there a way I could keep them up? I wasn't even thinking of what was going to happen next till I'd done the job. But then when we did stay up, then we were obviously looking to see how we could sort of make it better. I think it's much better. I really do. Might not be at the levels which every Evertonian would like. We hope that we can continue to improve it, keep progressing it. I feel my job's to try and do that and get us on sort of safe ground and in a place where we think that we can know we're not always looking over our shoulder at trouble. So, a couple of more points we might have been getting looked at a little bit differently. A couple less points, we might have been getting looked at what we've done in the past. So we've got to keep ahead of it.
Yeah, 3 points off fifth going into this. It's a really tight table this time. What do you put it down to? I guess really that the teams seem a lot closer.
I think the Premier League, I think the levels of the teams and the quality what the teams now have is getting stronger. I think the middle ground teams we've all had to try and catch up, and put us up in at West Ham where you're trying to catch the top teams, which is very difficult to in recent years, whether it be Man City or Liverpool, Chelsea, whoever it may have been. It's been difficult to probably touch them, but I think there's a lot of teams now thinking that they can, if we take them on, we might get a result on a day. But I think when you're going to play the teams now, I can't think of an easy game in the Premier League. I can't think of a game which you could turn up and say, we've got this one, we should get this one. They're really hard.
And finally for me, there are a lot of reports and claims around James Garner at the moment and other teams allegedly watching him. Is he a player, though, that you would want to go from Everton?
Absolutely not. And I've got no intention of letting him go. So... And let me tell you, I don't know where the news comes from, but if I said that the phone's been ringing here and it's been phoning about Jimmy Garner, then I would be telling you absolute lies. So there's been no phone calls into my phone or MD that I know of at the club anyway regarding Jimmy Garner. We'll obviously look to renew Jimmy's contract and when we're ready to do so.
That's ended that then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. We'll go to Carl at the Press Association.
Hi, David.
Hi there.
You spoke briefly about the time that the managers get, and it seems only a couple of months ago that Ruben Amorim was being scrutinised as being, is he gone much longer left there after bad run results? But he's turned it around in 2 months. I'm going to say, we're going back a bit, but you probably weren't afforded that luxury that maybe he's had. But is the... I'm saying that you obviously you would vouch that people want to stick with their managers, but do you sense there's a change in maybe the way people view the managers in terms of giving them maybe getting a bit more extra time?
Yeah. Well, I think if you were at some of the other managers at some of the other clubs, you might say no. I've talked about some other teams where managers have lost their jobs, but look, it is part of our life in our industry that we can lose our jobs if we don't win enough games. I think when you're at the big clubs, I think you have to win. You have to win with style. You have to win with all the things that go with it. I think it's changed. I lost my job when we couldn't qualify for the Champions League at Manchester United. So it's certainly maybe a different standard or a different level, which maybe, but that can happen at football clubs at Everton over recent seasons. We were never in the early time here trying to avoid relegation. Maybe the odd time there might have been a dip, but very rarely. Recently it's been quite regular. So I see now that these things can happen at football. You look at some of the clubs who've been in the top division, Sheffield Wednesdays, and how they're dropping down, and different clubs. So you've got to do your business well. You've got to manage the club well. You need good ownership, good managers, whoever they may be. So I'm always sort of supporting managers to get the time to do the job, because I think the history would tell you managers given the time tend to do better. But there's also history where clubs like, I think Chelsea for many years changed their manager quite regular if they didn't work out, and they might have said that worked under the ownership they had at the time. So I always hope that managers are given that time to see if they can make it work.
And just to go back to Tyler Dibling, has the plan for him gone to plan so far? Have you had to adapt things with how it's going on?
Yeah,
have you seen it going, and has it gone to?
Yeah, we want Tyler. Tyler's hugely part of the future, what we're going to do when we go at the next stage. At the moment, he's at Ndiaye, who played in the right, and we hadn't seen him play much in the right. He's done terrifically well. Jack Grealish is played so well on the left, so it's been quite difficult for him to get in front of those boys at the moment. But it's someone we like a lot. I think he's still getting to terms with us as well. So all those things he has to do, but I'm looking forward to getting him more minutes as we go on.
Thanks, Carl. Any further questions in the open section before we move on to the newspaper section? No? Okay. Thank you.
Cheers, David.
See you all later.
Never after Red Bull.
Sorry?
You never have the Red Bull.
No, do you know something? I don't. Do you drink it?
No, it's wrong.
Full of sugar, isn't it?
Yeah.